Hi there, my name's Vince from Mr. Telephone, and today I'm going to talk about networking, but in particular Powerline adapters. I'm going to explain what they are, how to install them. I'm actually going to install these ones live and see the results of them. Now, networking. What is networking? Basically, networking is just a way of the computers talking to each other or your computers talking to your router. So imagine now if this router was your Virgin Media Super Hub, your BT Home Hub, or whatever country you're in. You need to get the signal from here into your Xbox, into your PC, into your smart TV in the best possible way. Now, the best possible way at the moment is still a wired connection. So for example, you get your Ethernet cable and then you run it to a different part of the house, and then you plug that into your Xbox or that into your PC or your smart TV, whatever you're wanting to connect up. Now, that works really, really well. But it is a lot of hassle because you've got to find a route for the cable, and also it can look messy as well. Now, I have networked my house and it works really well, but I've got my Virgin Media Super Hub tucked away under the stairs because that's where I brought all the wires back to. That's where my patch panels are. And the problem I've got then is when my kids are using the tablets or their iPods, then the signal is really weak. So when the Wi-Fi signal is weak, it gets really slow. And okay, that's a problem because it's annoying, but also when they use my mobile, when the Wi-Fi signal drops out, it kicks over onto 4G, and I've only got a small data allowance, and when that data allowance is used up, if they're watching YouTube videos, then it starts charging me. So it can also be a bit of a hassle. Now, I appreciate not everybody wants to run cables throughout their home, and if you're relying on the Wi-Fi signal, then as soon as you start moving away from that router, it drops off. So this video is going to be about Powerline adapters. These came out quite a few years ago, but they're getting better and better all the time, and there's still a lot of people out there that don't know about them. So I've bought a really cheap starter kit here and a slightly more expensive starter kit here. I got these from PC World in the UK. This one was under £20, I think it was about £18, and this one was £45. The difference, as I will show you in a little while, is basically this one also has like a Wi-Fi booster on it. So, and as well as that, it's got a pass-through for your socket, because when you plug these into your power points, you can no longer use that power point because they're taking up that power point. So just to explain what Powerline adapters are, they are a wired connection, but they're actually using the electrical mains wiring, the mains wiring in your house, so you're going to have plug sockets all over the house. They're using that wiring to transmit the Ethernet signal. So basically you have a short little Ethernet cable that goes from your router into your Powerline adapter. That then uses the wiring that's already in your house, the electric wiring. Then you plug another Powerline adapter where you want your signal to go to, so by your smart TV or by your Xbox, and you use a short Ethernet cable from there, or on this one here, you plug this one and this boosts the Wi-Fi signal. So it uses a wired connection to get from your router to the wireless adapter, and then that pushes the Wi-Fi signal out from there. So if you have like a weak signal in the back of your house, or in my case, I've got a weak signal in the back of the house and upstairs at the back of the house where my daughter's bedroom is, then I can't get a Wi-Fi signal there. So I'm hoping when I plug this in there, it will boost the signal, and then I'll be able to get good speeds and the signal won't be dropping out all the time. So I'm just going to open up these boxes now and show you what's inside. I'll do the cheap one first. This is the BT one. Now, just to explain, these ones are this is the Broadband Extender 500 kit. So if you look at this, it says like you get 300 meg on the Wi-Fi and 500 meg on the Powerline. Don't actually trust that, because they only actually have fast Ethernet ports on the Ethernet. So although it says it's 500 meg, when you actually read the back of it, it says 100 meg Ethernet ports. So basically the fastest it's going to be is fast Ethernet, which is 100 meg. But in the UK, I mean, I've got 70 meg here. There's still loads of people that are only getting 8 meg, 15 meg, 20 meg. So anything up to 100 meg, just get these. But if you're on, let's say, the Virgin Media 200 meg package, then you can get these ones, but they're called the AV1200 range, and they've got gigabit ports, and then they will allow faster than the 100 meg. As well, it also depends on the wiring in your house. The wiring in my house, a lot of it is actually quite old. It's over 40 years old. So the older the wiring, the more it will degrade. But we'll see how we get on. We're actually going to install these, so we see how we get on. Okay. So this is the BT one. You have a nice little user guide there. And there we have the two Powerline adapters. Now the good thing about Powerline adapters is you can use numerous ones of them. So you get in the pack, you get 2 of them, but you can also get triple packs, you can buy them on their own. And as your network expands, you can just keep plugging more and more in. It will say the maximum, but it's a lot. We're not talking, we're talking way more than a dozen. It will say in the instructions somewhere what the maximum is. But in a house, you're going to have more than you would ever need. So let's say if your kids are young and you don't need a network point in their room, that's fine. But then in a few years later, they might get the Xbox or PlayStation 4 or whatever's out at the time, and then you can just buy Powerline adapters then. And you can use them with each other. So for example, I'll be able to use this TP-Link ones with these BT ones. If you've got very old Powerline adapters, I've got some 85 meg ones that were from like 6-7 years ago, then you won't be able to use them with these ones, but these ones you will be able to use with each other. So as you can see, they're very basic. There's only one Ethernet port. There's no Wi-Fi on these. All they're going to do is save you running this cable. That's all they're going to do. But they were less than £20, so they're nice and cheap. So in the box you get 2 of them, and you get 2 short Ethernet cables. So we're going to set those up in a little while and see how they perform. Now this box here is slightly more interesting. This box was I think they were £45. And the reason it's more expensive is because it's got the pass-through. The pass-through is always a little bit more expensive. So when you plug that into the plug socket, you can no longer do anything with that particular plug socket. But with this, you can still use it. And also, they come with 2 Ethernet ports. Yeah. So that's handy, because then let's say if you were to have this behind your smart TV, then you can use the Wi-Fi for your tablets and your iPods, iPhones, and you can also use the wired connection for the smart TV or your Xbox, whatever you want to do. So these are a lot better, and you can get other models that have 3 Ethernet ports as well. So with this one, that's the standard one, similar to this one here, but it's got the pass-through and it's got 2 Ethernets. But this one here is the actual Wi-Fi one. So what it will do is, it will have a wired signal all the way up to here, and then it will do the Wi-Fi from here. So in a way, it's similar to moving your router to this location. So I got this because it was cheap, the BT one, and just for the video. But these are the ones that I am actually going to be using, and they're hopefully going to solve the problem of the lack of Wi-Fi at the back of the house. And well, it's going to solve the Wi-Fi problem upstairs. I will have to get another one of these to solve the Wi-Fi problem in the back of the house. But yeah, in the box you get 2 of these and two Ethernet cables. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go under the stairs to where my router is, and we're going to connect these up. I'm going to show you how to pair them up, because you have to pair them up, and also you have to I had a quick look at the instructions. Apparently the Wi-Fi is quite easy. You just do your you press your button on your router, press your button here, and that will send all the data, all the information, like the SSID, the password. That will send it onto here. So it looks like it's going to be quite easy. So also, they recommend that you don't plug them onto power extension leads, that it should go into the wall socket. I've tested them before on power extension leads and they do work, but I presume the speed isn't going to be quite as good as if you plug them onto the wall socket. But on something like this, it's not a problem because it's got the pass-through. So just plug it into the wall, plug your plug back into it, whatever was plugged in there before, and you haven't, it hasn't changed anything. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the camera off now and we're going to go under the stairs. Hi, so I'm under the stairs now where where all my networking wiring is, and where the super hub is, and I've got a switch as well. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be plugging in the TP-Link one into here because it's got the pass-through, and I'm short of sockets over here. So I'll do that first and then I'll explain what's what. Okay, turn it back on. Okay, and then what you need to do is you need to get your Ethernet cable that comes with the TP-Link, plug it into either one of the Ethernet ports on the top, and then you're going to be plugging this straight into your Ethernet ports at the back of the router. Now, on the back of my router, I'm already full. So I've already used up all the ports. So what I've had to do is I've had to install a network switch, and I've still got one port left on the back of the network switch. So you will probably be just plugging it straight into the router, but if you have a network switch, you can plug it into the network switch if your router ports are full. Okay. So equally, if you've got your 4 router ports full already, and you want to install one of these, then you're going to have to buy yourself a network switch, and then you would use an Ethernet cable to go from one of your ports into the network switch, and then that will free up, that you will have 4 more ports to use then. So what's happening is the signal's coming from the service provider into my Virgin Media Super Hub. Could be your BT Home Hub, or if you're in other countries it could be whatever router you have, and then it will be, so in my instance it's going from the service provider into the hub. The Ethernet signal's coming out of the hub into the switch, and then from the switch it's then going via this white cable into the electricity socket. So now that Ethernet signal is going all the way around the house. So what we're going to do is, I said not to use these extension leads, but I'm just using them here now because it's easy to pair them up, because you have to pair these adapters so they can communicate with each other. And if you're doing it in different rooms, you can do it, but you're having to run around and press different buttons, and it's going to be hard to do that on the video. So for the purpose of the video, I'm just using it on this extension strip, and then I'll be removing them from here and plugging them into the ports, the power sockets that I actually need them to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the other TP-Link one here, and now I've got to pair them up to each other. So it says to create a secure Powerline network, press the pair button for 1 second, and then within 2 minutes I need to press the pair button on this adapter down here. Now, it will be similar to the Powerline adapters you get, but you will need to read the instructions, because you might have to hold it down for 8 seconds, or you might only have 1 minute to do it. It will be different depending on the manufacturer, but on this one it seems pretty simple. So yeah, so I'm going to press this one here. It says to press the pair button for 1 second, so 1, that's 1 second. And now on this unit down here, the pair button is just underneath here, so I need to hold this one down for 1 second. 1 second. Hopefully now that will pair up. Looks like it's paired there and paired there, yeah. So it's got a little symbol here that lets you know it's paired, and now that symbol has come on. So these are now both connected to each other via the Ethernet cables, but we also now want to set up this for Wi-Fi. Okay, so on the other adapters it's just a case of doing what we've just done now, but on this one here, this also has Wi-Fi. So it says here, clone your router's Wi-Fi settings to the extender. If your router supports WPS, you can continue with the steps below to clone its current Wi-Fi settings to the extender. So it basically saves you having to copy over the password and the SSID. So what we'll do is you press the WPS button on your router for 2 seconds. So on the Virgin Media one, that's this one here. And then it says within 2 minutes, press the Wi-Fi clone button for 1 second. So that's this one down here on this particular unit. And it says it blinks slowly for about 10 seconds, then it's solid on for 5 seconds, and then blinks rapidly. So it's going to blink slowly for about 10 seconds, and it's going to go to solid for 5 seconds, and then it will blink rapidly. So hopefully that will work. So let's press down this one here. 1 and 2. Okay. And then we'll press down this one here for, what was it, 1 second? 1 second. And now it says it's going to blink rapidly for 10 seconds, which it didn't. No, it said blink slowly for 10 seconds. And then it blinks rapidly for 5 seconds. Which it doesn't appear to be doing, does it? Right, let's try that again. I'm not quite sure how long you have to hold down the WPS button on the Virgin Media router. Let's just try it full, hold on. 1 and 2. Okay. 1. See if that works. Right, okay, so as you can see down here now, I've tried it a few more times and it has eventually synced up. So we've got the Wi-Fi light flashing nicely there now. So what we're going to have to do is, we now need to connect these BT ones onto the same network, so we'll be able to move these anywhere in the house and get a wired connection. So the setup on this one's slightly different, but you've got the link button up the top here. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug them in. We'll just plug in one to begin with. So now we have to connect this one up to the network here. So we're going to have to pair it again, but onto this one here. But this one is slightly different. It says here, how to add more Powerline extenders to your existing network. So basically you need to press the link button on the extender for 5 to 8 seconds and wait for the power light to go back to steady green. So let's come down here now on this one here, and I'm going to hold this for 5 to 8 seconds. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Okay, so now it's flashing. Well, it flashed once. And then press the link button again, this time for 1 second. So just 1 and... Okay, so now that's flashing. So now we're going to have to, within 2 minutes, press the link button on one of the broadband extenders already in your home for 1 second to complete the connection to the network. So let's go back to this one here with the pair button up here. So hold this one down for 1 second. 1 and 2. And now hopefully, here we go. Data has come on, and it says here, wait for the connection to complete. If everything is okay, the power and the data indicators on the extender will light up. So there we go, it looks like that's synced up. So that was pretty simple. So now let's do the same with this one here. So plug this one in here and hold the link button, which is the same as the pair button on these ones. So for 5 to 8 seconds, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, so that's just blinked once. And now press it again for 1 second. 1 and... Okay, and now it says to press 1, so we can go back to this one, or why don't we try pressing the BT one this time? We'll be able to press any of them, but let's try pressing the BT one. So now press the BT one. And there you go, the data lights come on, and hopefully now, in another few seconds, it should go to data and power. There we go, data and power. So that looks like it's synced up. So it's quite simple. It sounds complicated, but if you read the instructions, it is actually quite simple. In fact, these BT ones were very simple. The only problem I had was with the Wi-Fi. The actual Powerline Ethernet side of it was absolutely fine. It was just the Wi-Fi that caused me a bit of bother on this one. I had to do it quite a few times before I actually got it to sync up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these adapters into the back room where the signal's very weak, and I'm going to show you the speed test without the adapter, without the Wi-Fi, and then I'm going to show you it with the Wi-Fi, and hopefully now with the Wi-Fi extender out there it should improve it a lot. And I'm also going to get a couple of Ethernet cables and just show you these Powerline adapters working in various rooms in the house. Okay, right, so we can turn that off. Right, okay, so we're in the back room in the house now. Now, I often struggle with the signal in here. Sometimes it drops out completely. But I'm going to do a quick speed test here just to see what speed we're getting. And then I'm going to plug in this Powerline adapter with the Wi-Fi. And then we'll see, because now that's going to distribute the Wi-Fi signal in here, so the signal should be a lot better. So let's just do a quick test now. Quick speed test. Right, so coming into the house I've got 70 meg, and as you can see, because I'm quite a distance away from the router now, I'm only getting there you go, like 4.6 meg. Let's just do the upload as well. So I normally have on a wired connection I've got a 70 meg download and a 5 meg upload, but here I've got a 4.66 download and a 3.07 upload. So let's plug in the TP-Link Wi-Fi power line. That will take a little while to sync up, and then what we'll do is I'll test it again, and I won't have to connect onto this particular adapter because this has just taken the information from the router, and so it's kind of acting as a repeater in a way, but the difference is it's actually using the wires in the house to get to here. So normally a repeater picks up the weak Wi-Fi signal and then distributes it again, but with this it's getting a good signal all the way up to here, so it's kind of like moving your router to this location here. So I presume that's synced up. Okay, so that did take a few minutes to sync up. So now that's synced up there. So if we come back to here, we'll do another speed test and we'll see if it's improved. So begin test. There you go. So it's a huge increase. So before it was whatever it was it 4 meg? And now it's gone up. It's nearly maximum. And you'd expect it to be good because we're right next to it. Obviously, the further we get away from this point here, it will get worse and worse. But the idea is this laptop will now be usable in this room, and so will the iPod, and so will the tablet and my phone, because you know, the source of the Wi-Fi is in here rather than being tucked away under the stairs there. Okay, so as you can see, it's a huge, you know, that's pretty much what I'm getting on my wired connection. I think my wired connection is about 72 meg, and the upload is, yeah, well, you know, 4.9 or roughly always around 5. So as you can see there, that's a good increase. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to plug these in. I think I'll plug these into the kitchen using the cable, and we'll give a quick speed test there. Hi, so we're in the kitchen now, and I've plugged in my BT Powerline adapter, and I now need to plug in the Ethernet cable that came with the pack, or any other Ethernet cable you've got. So remember, it's not a Wi-Fi one, so we do have to plug the cable in. So you plug it into the top one there, and then we're going to be plugging it into the Ethernet port on the laptop. You can always tell an Ethernet port because it's got the, it's this one here. It's got the little screen with the 2 screens underneath it. There's 8 gold pins on the inside. And also, it's the only port that will actually fit an Ethernet cable into it. Okay, so let's plug in. Let it connect for a few seconds. And then what we'll do is we'll test again. So if you have a look at the plug now, you can see that the Ethernet port is lit up. So we've got data, Ethernet and power. And let's do a test now. There we go. So that's ever so slightly better. This is exactly the same speed that I get from my Cat 6 wired connection. So the Powerline adapters do actually work pretty well. So as you can see, I've got 74 meg down, and the upload should be about 5. Yeah, that's exactly the same as the wired network. So the Powerline adapters are doing their job really well. So we've got 74 down, and we've got 5 meg on the upload. So yeah, so that's it. So as you can see, for the sake of spending, I spent £45 plus rough 18 or 19 pounds. So call it £65, and I've now got another Wi-Fi connection. Yes, I could probably spend another, I don't know how much they would be on their own, I presume they'd be about £30 to do the back bedrooms upstairs. And yeah, so the Wi-Fi one has 2 empty Ethernet ports, so that can be used to connect up 2 pieces of equipment plus the Wi-Fi. And then I've got the little BT adapters here, which are another 2 connections. So really you can network your whole house quite cheaply using the Powerline method if you don't want to go down the wired route. Personally, I still prefer the wired route because, you know, with these things, they're going to play up every now and then. You're going to have to turn them on and off, just like your router and everything else. But with a wired connection, it just always works perfectly. But with the power lines, they're not going to be as good, but they're just so easy. And if you don't want to run cables around your house, they really are useful. So I personally don't sell them, but if you go onto mrtelephone.co.uk or mymatevince.com, it will link to my website, and on there I will push it to Amazon sellers that do sell these, and then if you click on them I get a very small commission. So what I'll do is, when I upload this video to the actual website, I'll put a few links off the BT ones and also the TP-Link ones, and then if you buy them I get a couple of %. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it useful. If you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be great. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I will be doing other networking videos on how to do a wired connection, and I've got loads of telecom videos and other useful how-to videos. So thanks a lot, take care, bye now.